Hi, and happy Monday. So, welcome back, those of you that are returning to hear more of our fun Monday lives. And if you're brand new, glad to have you here. So, today I'm going to talk about Windows 11. And before we get started, let's do a little housekeeping. I'll just go over and let you know over at our website, virtualinstructor.com, we do a live 15-minute tips of the week every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific. So if you ever want to see what our calendar is, just click on the Monday live events. And here is the current calendar. So today I'm talking about some kind of fun highlights in Windows 11. And then next Monday, I'll be talking about PowerPoint Photo Album. And that's a really cool feature. A lot of people don't know about it, but there's a lot of neat ways that you can use it to save yourself time when you're creating presentations. And then the following Monday, I'm going to show you lots of keyboard and mouse shortcuts to really speed up your editing time in Microsoft Word. And most of these little shortcuts are the same in Google Docs. And then on the 22nd, we'll be talking about some cool Chrome extensions. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start talking about Windows 11. So I did go ahead and upgrade my main system to Windows 11. I still have one on Windows 10 as well. My system is a pretty heavy-duty system. It's got 64 gig of RAM. It's a gaming system, so it's a pretty fast system. I will say that when I reboot, when I have to start it over again, it takes a little over 3 minutes when I'm doing it. So long that sometimes I used to think it was getting locked up. Whereas on my Windows 10, it would just reboot immediately. But other than that, it does have some pretty cool features. So I'm going to hit escape to get out of PowerPoint. And now you're seeing my Windows 10 desktop on my main monitor. So I have 3 monitors. Some of you may be using multiple monitors. And toward the end of this little 15-minute talk, I'm going to show you something really cool that you can, how you can set things up when you're using multiple monitors. All right, so we'll start out typical. You can still right-click, and you still get access to quite a few options. The Start button is now more in the center. Now, I happen to have quite a few different little shortcuts, I guess, pinned to my taskbar. So my Start button is not way over at the left. But if I click on it, it brings up the Start menu, which you may notice looks quite different than what you saw in Windows 10. So they kind of streamlined it. I like it a lot better. I think it's easier to look at. And here you have things that are pinned to your Start, not the taskbar, but to the Start. And if you have quite a few things pinned, then you can click on this little button, and it just lets you cycle back and forth between them. And then they have recommended applications or documents that you've worked with. And then if you click the More button, you probably guessed, you get more things that it recommends. It's just remembering things that you've worked with. The search feature is pretty cool. You can type in different words, and it will find things for you. So that's kind of nice. And in the All Apps, this is like when you went to the program, so you could see all the programs that you have opened up. Okay, now if you want to, or not opened up, all the programs on your system, I should say. This little button down here is where you go to put it in sleep mode, shut it down, or restart. And then you'll see your profile, and if you click on it, you can sign out quickly, you can lock your account, or if you click on Change Account Settings, that just takes you into the settings, which they've simplified it quite a bit to make it really easy to find things. So you can go see any Bluetooth devices that you have. You can see information about your internet. You can personalize the desktop. So this is the default Windows look, but you could go and get different themes. So if you go over to themes, then it has different themes available. And then if you want more, all you have to do is go over to Browse Themes. And then it takes you over to the Microsoft Store, and they have a lot of free themes. So I'll just choose this one that's fish and corals. And then it should be able to, I'll just click on Get. And then in just a moment or two, hopefully, I held off so I could show you it live. So it's doing the little download, and getting the little license, and hopefully soon it will show up. All right, I'm going to open it up. So that wasn't too bad. And then I'll just click on this one, and then we should see that my new theme, I'll close out of here, is now this fish theme. So you can change it back. And then if you want a keyboard shortcut, if I do Windows and the letter A, that brings up a little area over here where you can quickly see if you have Wi-Fi available, you can change your Wi-Fi. Bluetooth, if you were in a laptop, you could just go into airplane mode real quickly. And then you'll notice there's a little edit button down here. Now I'll get back to settings in a moment, but if I click on this little edit button, then you can unpin any of these, and then you can also add extra things to this Windows A, which is just a little shortcut to bring up things. And it's also a shortcut to get to settings. So if I click on settings, there we are, back over into settings. So if I went over to personalization, went back to my themes, I could put it back on the Windows theme. And now I'm back looking at it on Windows theme. So basically, the start button can get you to a lot of different options in here. And then, and again, in your profile, just another place where you can quickly get to the account settings. Now, there's another feature, which I think they call it Cortana. I never really used that much, but you can just click here to search for things. But if you click on that, it brings up a nice little dialog box for you, or a little area. And you have all different types of things you can search for. If you want to see what was going on in history today, you can. And you have new movies. And then if I go to apps, it just shows these are the current apps that I've been using. And documents are kind of cool because we have some new challenges that we're getting ready to launch called Nirvana challenges. So I have quite a few different files out there that have the word Nirvana challenge in it. So I'm just going to type in Nirvana challenge, and notice how it comes up with all these things that I've been working with that have Nirvana challenge in it. So it's a really fast way to find something. You can also go over to web, and if you want, you can search for something in web. Let's say Thanksgiving is the next holiday coming up, so we'll put in Thanksgiving, and then you can see we have lots of different things coming up with that. And then you also have more, and you can search for all these different places you can search for. All right, now there's a kind of a cool feature. You see this little guy with like a little comment. This is where you can give Microsoft feedback. So if you click on it, you can enter your ideas in here of ideas, things you like, things you don't like, and you can report a concern and so forth. So they make it pretty easy to give them some feedback, which is kind of a nice feature. And then anytime you see three little dots, you probably want to click on them to see what they are. So in this case, it then shows you different, so you can switch and change to a different account. Indexing is kind of advanced, but it can speed up the type of searching that you're doing. Alrighty, now the next one I'm going to skip over for a moment because we'll end with that one. And then this next one is called Widgets. Now, when you open up Widgets, I purposely did not delete my picture yet, although I really don't need to see my picture all the time. So I thought I'd show you. All I have to do is go to the more options and click on it. And I'm just going to remove that widget because I don't need to see that. But these are the widgets that came up by default. And you can remove any of them. You can move them around. You can add more widgets. So there's a to-do item which list that I'm going to actually be adding after this talk. And then you can also go in and personalize your interests of what you want. I'll close out of here. So that's what widgets are. And then you can see there's just all these stories. I have not done anything. This is just what by default Windows brought up for me. And now I'll just click back into the desktop. There's also Teams. If you've been in business, you're probably either using Zoom and or Teams. So Teams in business is used quite often, and it integrates really well with all the Microsoft products. But Windows 11 has now given a kind of a streamed down version, more the family and friends version of Teams. So you get it automatically. And so this little button over here takes you into chat. Now, I have not set up the personal family and friends Teams because I have a business account. So I will be setting this up eventually. But if you wanted to, you could do get started. And then you can add your family and friends and be able to chat and easily do video chats with them and set up, there's a calendar so you can set up appointments, things like that. So there's quite a few new little features that you can do with Windows 11. And then I want to go ahead and show you, first of all, we'll go into Word. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to take you to Notepad and show you this one feature, and then I'll show you how it is in Word. I'll just go to Notepad and expand that. Now, anytime in Windows 11 where you need to fill something in, if you're in a form where you need to type something in, we're in Notepad right now. I'll take you into Word in just a moment. But you can hold down the Windows key and tap the letter H. And what that does is it brings up the little microphone. And whoops, it's in the listening mode. So I'm going to get rid of that. Ruined my fun little demo for you. Okay, before I show you that, there's settings. So anytime you see the little gearbox, you know there's probably something to do with settings. So I'll click on that. And it's got auto punctuation turned on. And I'm going to turn in voice typing launcher. So this is pretty slick. It's much better than I've seen it before. So let's go ahead and I'm going to turn on the listening mode. Oops, let me get rid of this. It's listening too much. I'm going to turn it off for a second. Sorry about that. All right. So much for my great demo. Okay, I'm going to turn it on for a second, and then I'm just going to say something here. And watch how it actually does some pretty good punctuation. This is a test to see how accurate the dictation feature is. Does it really punctuate properly? All right, I just turned it off so it wouldn't keep listening to me, but that's pretty cool. So I just did that in Notepad, but basically if you are doing anything where like you're in a form and you need to do typing, you can just do Windows H and then turn on the dictation mode and the listening mode and it'll type for you. So I think that's kind of slick. Now, if I go into Word, I'll just pop into Word real quickly. And in Word, it already has the dictate option, but that's very similar. So if I turn on dictate in Word, then we can go in here and see it's dictating in, it's not doing that great of a job, but you can do the auto punctuation, turn that on, and it will turn on the auto punctuation. All right, I'm going to get out of here and I'm not going to save it. Okay, last feature I want to show you. I saved it to the end because it's really slick, but since I am broadcasting this using StreamYard, so it's going over to Facebook, LinkedIn Live, and also YouTube Live, if I switch to one of the other little snapshot views, you'll lose this. So I'm just going to have to tell you about it. If you work with lots of programs open, and sometimes it gets kind of messy as you're cycling through all the programs. Well, what you can do is you can actually create little snapshots of what you're working on. And I'm going to show you this in a moment. And what's cool about that is, let's say you need to do a Zoom call or a Teams call, and you need to have a certain spreadsheet open and maybe a PDF or something. But then when you're working on some other project, you really don't care about that. You care about the certain programs for that project. Well, you can create your own snapshots. And when you switch back and forth, only those programs are available. So I'm going to show you this, but I can't actually demonstrate it, because we're in the one that lets me do the StreamYard broadcasting. So if I go over to, it's the third one from the end. And if I hover over, you'll see I've got regular, videos, website editing, and we are in the Monday Live one. So the Monday Live one has all the programs I had opened up in order to do this presentation. But if I wanted to jump over and do some video editing, I use Camtasia, and a lot of times I want to be in Photoshop, and then I have certain folders that I like to have open. So if I were to switch over there, the things that are in my Monday Live will not be shown to me. They'll still be open, but I won't be using them. They're not available to me. I'll pop over and just use the tools for that particular project. And then if I went over to regular, it's just, I have everything closed. So it's just the regular plain desktop. And then when I go to my website editing in there, I have two websites that I'm in quite often in the editing mode. So I can just switch back and forth And then I don't have to see 80 billion, programs opened up. So hopefully that you'll give it a try. Now, just so you know, if you want to do a new desktop, then you'll click on the new desktop icon first, and then you'll go ahead and you'll set up, you'll click on the new desktop, and then you put in whatever programs you want for that desktop. So just keep that in mind. I think I might have told you wrong. You might have to open up everything you want, sorry, and then click on new desktop. I just started playing with this just recently, but it is kind of slick. Now, the only thing is, be aware when you restart your computer, all the files are closed. So it's not like next time you open it up, you'll have all those programs open. So just be aware of that one. But hopefully that gave you some ideas of different ways that you can use the new Windows 11. And there's just a lot of really nice features. Overall, I really like it. I will say it does appear to be slower when I restart my system. So just keep that in mind. And have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to switch back over to say goodbye to y'all. And if you are interested in keeping track of our different Monday lives, then one more time I'll switch over. If you go over to our website, next Monday, I'm going to be talking about PowerPoint photo album. And then the following one, some shortcuts in Word, and then cool Chrome extensions. So have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you next Monday. Bye.